Timing chip in, you must return that. We have cold drinks over here afterwards, water, pop, hyena. So come over there, get a drink afterwards or water if you want it, okay? Well, good. First lap neutral in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're underway, live racing action. I'm going to be a little blind here because I don't have the numbers yet, but as soon as we do, a few we know, a few we don't. I do not know who 109 is. All right, 1:15. Russ Oscar leading them through. All right, so let's take a look at this B field. I'll tell you right now, one of my race favorites will be Chris Karuna. Big Fondo guy, does well in the Fondos, does a lot of the elite one too, will be in the A race later as well. I think Steve McKee, of course I give him top bill, and we'll just have to see how he holds up. That's a tough race in the heat last time, so I'm sure he'll be trying to save a few matches early on in this one. So this B race presented by Antonio's Pizza and Unifor Local 444. Alex Hughey from Cadu just swings over to the left. Looks like Russ Oscar on the front again. He swings over, and there's the aforementioned Chris Karuna patrolling at the front. So you can see a little different tone to this race than our first race. Our first race we had some riders that clearly wanted to pull the race apart and sort it out. This race did more of a feeling out process. Jeffrey Woodward there just tailing off the back. Alright, we're going to do a preem lap this time around. SWT Group preem lap, $50. We're going to ring that bell, and then the next time around the first person across will take it. Last race we saw Tony Bruley taking a couple of preems. Alright, preem lap, $50 preem lap, $50 preem lap. $50 preem lap. Couple teammates there. Jesse Martin, and looks like Graham Van Ergen. Perfection Racing, Jason Chayone reached out to me. Said to be a few faction riders. so we're looking for the first rider across the line to take the first $50 to come out of the B race. Lots of money to be given away. All right, so here they come. Down the Erie Street start-finish stretch. A rider on the right. We have a rider in the middle. And we have, all right, from UNC, number 25, that is Julius Velos Reyes. Did you do a novice race a few years ago? Well, you look very familiar. All right, so Julius Velos Reyes taking the first $50. Compliments the SWT group. Bill Carruthers just walking behind me, made that happen. Jeffrey's rear tire looks a little light on air to me. In my eye, maybe he likes to run low. Interesting rider to me in here to see how he fares with the Andrew Freckleton. He races in our Chikara series, been pretty, definitely I would call him best overall rider in our B series there. That does not necessarily translate to B on this front. So there's that nice, beautiful bike coming through. Carter-Russia, or Rosita. Depends how you want to go about it. Russia, double C in there. Russia might work too. Our apologies to the Carter fan club if we're getting that wrong. Rusita. And feel free to correct me. If I say someone you know, I say their last name wrong, come over here and solve me. I am a very defensive person, but I'll try to lower that for this. Liking that new backdrop in our podium. So funny, this is a little, well, people close to me know this, and it's a strange thing about me, and I swear I'm not just saying this, but you know what my favorite animal is in the world? a hyena. And that is not a lie. I've always had this weird fascination with hyenas. People are like, what? I don't know, maybe I'm some kind of scavenger. All right, so it looks like Carter's opened up a healthy gap here. Now, I'm going to tell you something. All right, Carter, looks like about 20 seconds. Oh, that's my buddy Carter. Now I know who it is. A couple years ago, I remember Carter won the Cat 4 when the categories were different. He didn't have that bike then, I'll tell you that. Normally, all right, about 20 seconds, guys. You can see how the field's spreading out under that pressure of the chase. Steve McKee just saving some matches at the back there. So I learned my lesson last year. I like to think I can read bike races very well, but Noah Ramsey made a fool of me. So I will never underestimate a solo rider again. I gave Noah Ramsey about a 0 chance of pulling off his solo expedition. And Noah Ramsey is not here because he's riding over for Katrina Carlson. Now, I'm pretty sure there's no one in the B race that's going to be riding on the Pro Tour anytime soon, but you never know. Well, that sucks. My race favorite, Chris Carina, is out of this race, and that's going to pull him out of the A race too. Stanley could probably deal with, but he damages rear to rear. So. All right, here comes Carter. So we don't see the lead, the main field behind him, so he's obviously extending that. Carter, I'm going to say you got a good 30 seconds at this point. Keep it aero, keep that front low. Man, that looks like thirsty work. All right, 30 seconds to 1 liter, 30 to 1 liter. Alex Hugan, Neil McCrimmon. So I'm a big Neil McCrimmon fan. We say his name a lot when he rides out here. He's going to be in this race. Good. right, so here's our leader. Carter Rosica coming through. 25-second lead. Hold on. 25 seconds to one leader, 25 seconds to one leader. 25 seconds. So it's faction on the front. They've got 3 or 4 riders in here, so they're going to take up the chase. It's good to have teammates. The only problem is then the responsibility falls on you to chase. All right, here comes Carter, maintaining, look, was a 25-second lead before. Looks like he's maintaining that. "29 seconds. Do not underestimate Carter. 29 seconds. So it looks like about half a dozen riders contributing to the chase. Lost the rush worm. We saw him early on taking some pulls. He's back on the front, pulling for Bateman. I see quite a bit of bait. So last time through, it was a 29-second gap for Carter Rosica. Neil McCrimmon leading on the front. I gave Neil to a friend of mine, gave his name to him for the CD race as one to watch. So he's riding at the front of the B race. All right, Carter, it was 29 seconds last time through, 29 seconds. You're holding that gap well. I'm trying to figure out that fight. All right, so my partner here, Rob's telling me it's a Quebec-made bike. Looks like one of the faction riders at 25 seconds. 25 seconds. And Steve McKee from last up to third position. And number 35, Adam Myers. We have seen him on the podium out here before. We've seen him in our final race when we used to combine the Elite 1-2s with the Masters. Adam would be on that Master podium several times. Alright, here he comes again. He's been maintaining that 30-second lead. A couple riders were trying to get there, Carter. We had Adam Myers. Oh, and it's come down a little bit. 24 seconds. Looks like a more concerted effort from behind. So it's going to be an interesting one. With 16 to go. As long as that chase maintains some steady effort, I think they'll get him back eventually. But so Steve McKee is going to put some laps in on the front here. Add a little bit more pressure to the situation. Graham Van Aerden sitting in our third wheel. Another familiar rider out here, always making an appearance at TDVI. Well, it's time. It's time for a hyena. That is good. The only problem, the walkers are going to want my hyena. Oh, it's not sugar. All right, here's our lead car. Thanks to Nissan of Windsor, providing our pace cars today. I am a customer of theirs, I will say. A loyal customer. Road after road after road. All right, Carter. I know you would just love an ice stocking right now. Clean lap, $50 clean lap. Yeah, I think it's about time we rewarded Carter. 25 seconds. $25 seconds. So Julius on the front, he's already got a clean himself. Adam Myers hanging around there. So we're starting to see familiar names up there. Usually, and there's exceptions to this, but usually the guys you see in that top 10 often are guys you're going to see in the top 10 at the end. But you can get a few sneaky ones just sitting at the back, waiting. Nothing wrong with that, it's a gamble. Minivan alert. All right, well, Carter, good news, $50 in your pocket, so you're on a break-even day. Good job, and you're at about 23, 25, all right, still 25. So it looks like from that last corner to start-finish is about 25 seconds is what we're saying. Seems that they've come around that corner, and the lead rider's crossing the start-finish at about 25 seconds. All right, 14 laps, almost at the halfway point. 25 seconds. Few discussions within the group. Graham Van Ergen on the front. So doing a good job of keeping things steady, that group. Not making much headway though. Lots of executive decisions have to be made under this tent, when to do cleans. We have huge arguments over it. Sometimes we say, we're not going to do the cleans, we'll just keep the money. All right, so thank you to Antonio Keats and Unifor Local 444. Yeah, the lap car. Yeah, it looks like it's going. Yeah, you can be a little bit closer to the rider. No, you're good. Don't. No further than that. You're good. I mean, they're coming. 20 seconds. 20 seconds. Using my mat. Oh, I see what we're doing here. The upside down. In cycling, there's a big superstition on the number 13, so people wear it upside down. So that's why the lap car's upside down, because it's 13. It's for good luck. You know someone's in that pace car going, and that's up the lap car. We cross the halfway point. I wouldn't say anything's decided yet because I think Carter's days are, well, I was going to make a reference to the funeral earlier, but we'll stay away from that. But was it a peak of 30 seconds? Down to about 20 lap times through. If it gets any hotter, I'm going to have to do this shirtless. So you better hope it doesn't get hotter. All right, here comes Carter, man of the match. Never fails to entertain. There's our Nissan. There's Carter. Both reliable machines, Nissan and Carter. 18 seconds to one rider, looks like Neil McCrimmon. These two have raced against each other before a couple years ago. They were the two key riders in the Cat 4 race. All right, Neil, nice fluid pedal stroke. 20 to this group, 20 seconds. Steve McKee, Adam Myers, very familiar with each other, been racing against each other for many years. Can Steve do the double up? Well, right now, looks like he can. He looks okay. Doesn't look like he's showing the effects of the previous race, but still got a good 20K to go here. This race brought to you by Antonio's Pizza, and I look straight across and there's Antonio's Pizza. Now just headed to a local 444. Neil McCrimmon making headway on Carter. This could be a good duo. Yeah, Carter, you might want to chill, let Neil catch up. Might be an idea, right? I'm with you, Carter. Anytime you want to stay in my house, you call me. Look at Neil, the heels of his shoes match his handlebar tape. I like that. That was a big bridge by Neil. He takes 20-25 seconds on his own. This group's about 25 behind. All right, it's about to be 2 leaders. Neil McCrimmon's just about to make his way across. 25 seconds. And this is the first time where we start to take things seriously as far as the shape of the race. All right, Carter and Neil, what a duo. These guys, always a big factor out here on Erie Street, and I like this combo, and that is up to 30 seconds now because it's 25 to the line. They're almost at the corner. So 30 seconds for 2 strong leaders. We'll see what Carter's got left in the tank. All right, cream lap for this group. 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 This group. So that does not include the leaders. Cream is for that group. All right, here's our two leaders. Let's give them some encouragement. Doing a great job with 9 to go. Neil and Carter. So Neil a little bit pressure, but he made that big bridge, so that can take quite a bit out of the tank. All right, Adam McCrory made a little bid for that plane, but it looks like Bateman's jersey is going to get the better of him. Oh, Julius! Wow, out of the crowd. So takes his second plane. Julius Dells Reyes. I think it's Julius for sure. So takes his second plane, and he's also given us a big preview what to expect at the end. Wow, that is robbery. So it looked like Oscar was sitting pretty for that plane and then just got pipped at the end. So I know we have to make end of race predictions. I know who I'm putting in my list. I'm putting Julius up there. Right now, I like the breakaway chances. What are their chances? 8 laps to go. That is about 14.5K. All right, 25 seconds is the gap. 14K to go. So the dynamic you have to look at, 25 seconds and 14K, not a big deal. If it's a Pro Tour race, that's coming back no problem. However, I've got news for you. This is not a Pro Tour race. So what tends to happen in these races, the guys you're seeing that are out front are a couple of the stronger guys in the race. That's why they're out front. I can only imagine the heat steering down on them at this point, and they're just counting those laps. Here comes the group. That is under 20 seconds. Oh, ladies. All right, let's talk about 20 seconds to a chase group of maybe 3 riders stretching themselves off the front. Looks like Steve McKee, our race favorite, is one of those. Andrew Freckleton is definitely there. You'll see his flowing locks. And Josh O'Neill. So those are 3 very serious riders with Adam Myers coming across as well. So we're starting to see the cream rise here. Serious force in there. So I'll tell you what, if those 4 get together, start working, no way they're not catching that front 2. So we're about to calculate the odds for the front 2. Well, I'll tell you the odds of them finishing just the 2 of them. I'd say about 0 at this point. I really like the chances of that 4 getting across. So the 2 races in, and these races are playing 3 to 4. We look at this start list. So the guys you would look at on this list and expect to contend are up there. Probably the one that missed out on that move that could definitely podium based on what we're seeing on the screens is Julius. But he might be a pure sprinter by the looks of things. All right. There's our two leaders. 13 seconds back to that chasing group of 3 or 4 riders. I think 4. Adam Myers, Steve McKee, Josh O'Neill, Andrew Freckleton. Andrew Freckleton from the States. So Andrew Freckleton on the front. He's easy to spot with that flowing hair. Josh O'Neill easy to spot with that flowing mustache. Steve McKee, third wheel with wheels of blur on, and faxing race for Adam Myers. It was 10 seconds. 26 main field to the front 2, 15 seconds between them and the group of 4. So I'm going to make the call. It's those 6. I do not see that back group catching up with that 6. I think most of the horsepower is out front. And because Faxon has a rider up there, that takes care of some of the chasing. And they have probably the Sabre rider up there. Yeah, you know, early on we had several members of the Faxon team doing some chasing, and then Adam was able to get over there. So that's great teamwork. Even though Adam's the one getting there, his teammates kept him within range, stopped this race from going up the road. All right, here comes our lead car. Windsor has Windsor lead car. See if we get 2. No, we get 6. So it's all together, and we're going to be really cool to Carter and Neil. We're going to ring the bell for a preen here. Get that taken care of, our last preen. Yep, we're going to do it now. All right, 6 riders looking good at about 30 seconds on the field. Preem lap, our final preem lap, final preem. So I know this, if I'm Neil and Carter, I am not taking a pull in that group for a while. Carter's been out there basically all day. Depends where you count all day from. In my terms up here, I counted from when the B race started. 30 seconds to the field. 6 riders at 30 seconds. 6 riders at 30 seconds. Faxon have done their part. Teammates did a great job, and they got Adam up the field, so now they're just going to let that gap just continue to grow. It looks like the field conceded to the top 6. 5 past places being paid. Yep. There's going to be one unlucky person in that group. We saw in our last race as well. Yeah. Sean, unfortunately, was the unlucky one. Yeah, so we're having a little discussion on motive on the screen. I don't know if Steve, in his second race, I wouldn't be going after the free. I'd save my legs for it. Red Josh might. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's tough. With 5 to go, how many matches? I think what I would do with this is I'd follow the wheels and I'd see when you get past the church there. whose interest. I can't see Carter or Neil putting too much effort into it unless they feel like they're totally gassed and just want to take one last flyer at it. All right, there's our lead car. We're going to look for our 6 riders, and we still do have 6. Hinkle. Hinkle could win this team. You never know. I wouldn't put it past him. So, like we say, we waited till the church, and then Carter with Neil. Oh, all right, Carter. Hey, this guy. Been out there all day, and he's still winning creams. I would say it's possible one of those two would go for it. Try and get some out of this for the end. I like what I saw with Steve there, just saving it, trying for back-to-back wins. I don't think anyone's ever won back-to-back races here at CDVI. Well, we got a solo rider trying to get 7th. I don't think at this point anyone's going to get across. I'm going to say that is rider 116. Paul Di Nobrega, Continental Cycle Club. Paul Di Nobrega. I feel like the first name doesn't go with the last name. Yeah. We're going to change the P to an R. We'll just leave it at that. Drop the EGA. Paul D-Knob. The REGA. Oh, what's that? No, that was not me. Six in the break. All right, here comes the Nissan Road. Here comes our 6 riders. We'll take inventory of them again. Out there from the get-go, Carter Rosica. Chased him down, Neil McCrimmon. Then 4 of them joined, Adam Myers, Andrew Freckleton, Steve McKee, and Josh O'Neill. Some fast rides in there, and they're getting 4 to go. These last 6 laps seem to whiz by. Adam Myers takes a little look over the shoulder. Some fast sprinters in there. Josh O'Neill is fast, Adam is fast, Steve is the fastest. He's already put a full sprint in today. Yeah, I got Josh on the podium. Andrew, where does he rank? So, he ranks decent in the B, the guitar as a sprinter, but I can't use that necessarily. I'm a little surprised Alex Hughes missed that move. He's probably a bit surprised too. All right, we'll call it about 35, 40 seconds. Absolute ballpark. .49 is the official step. So 1 hour into this event, 3 laps left. About 5.5K. They will cover that in probably about 8 minutes. What's going on here with all these blue suits? Oh, it is Saturday, I guess. Could be a wedding. Yeah. Yeah, do it. I highly encourage you to get married. It's great. Trust me. All right, 3 laps to go, 6 riders, paying 5 places deep. I hate to break it to you, one of you is out of the money. Carter, you already won creams, just let them have it. I don't know if I'm motivating him or demotivating him. Gonna enter some depression. My God, I might not be in the money. $56. So they're not going to get lapped, but they're not going to catch them. So you know what that's good for? It's good for me, it's good for the officials. Our last race got a little bit messy at the end. All right, 1 minute gap, 3 laps to go. You are going for 7th place. That looks like Jared taking a run up the front. Jared Rallier. Comes from a cycling family, and that's where his sister is right now, somewhere in his cycling travels. All right, we're going to let them come through and get the 2 to go. And then I will make my predictions. It's not because I want to always, it's because I'm obligated to. I put that pressure on myself. I mean, I don't think it's any surprise that I'm going to pick for the win, but we'll, yeah, Nick's pick in the Toronto sun. All right, 2 laps, 2 to go. Andrew Sexton takes a little look over his shoulder. Adam Myers points ahead, says, Carter, you fill that gap. Neil McLaren brings Josh O'Neill through. Steve McKee flips the shoulder. Josh O'Neill, you can see those sweat, salt stains on that black YQG jersey. It's a hot one out here. All right, so here's Nick's picks. You can put Steve McKee in the 1 spot. Josh O'Neill or Adam Myers. All right, don't give me this hometown pressure again. I didn't succumb to it last race and it worked out. Josh O'Neill. Neil's not slow, but he's put a lot in today. Josh O'Neill, Adam Myers, Josh O'Neill. Josh. Okay, then we're going to put Adam 3rd. Then, boy, that's tough. So now I'm left with Andrew, Carter, and Neil. I don't have to pick 4, 5, 6. No, I don't know. I can't. I'm going to go with, yeah. I agree, Carter 4th. Andrew and Neil. I can go either way on that. Yeah. Right. So I'll go on record. Rob disagrees on 3rd. He thinks Carter can take out Adam. I wouldn't be surprised. just going with a little bit fresher legs in the history. Although Carter has put some good sprints in along here, I just think it's been a long day out there for him. Still got a chance to change these picks. We'll see when they come through, positioning, how they look. After the C race will be our CD combined field. Always interesting. If Neil does make this podium, he's a double up in the next race, so it'll have to be another quick podium. All right, here they come, and Adam Myers is trying to make a move. He knows he's got to get away from Steve McKee. One to go. Adam Myers. Oh, look at this. Uh-oh. I mean, who in the world could see that coming? It caught up with him. Back-to-back races, and it looks like it's just a bit too much for Steve, unless he's playing the biggest game of possum ever. But I don't think so. That looked like a tired man on the back. So we had 3 groups of 2. So it was Andrew Freckles and Adam Myers making that move. It looks like, sorry, you're right, it was McCrimmon, Neil, and Adam, but I think that duo of Andrew and Josh was going to get across to them. All right, that is 7th place on the road. Number 21, Jesse Martin. Jared on the front, driving it along, trying to close that gap. Alexander G's right there. Rob, those aren't illegal shots, they're compression shots. He's already in the post-game recovery. All right, so we had 3 pairs of 2 last time they came through here. Blowing the prediction chart to pieces. I expected Steve to be tired, but I thought he might have it in him one more lap. Absolutely no issue with that. I'd be on my knees doing back-to-back in this heat, and he's already got that win in his pocket. So it looked like the second group of 2 is probably going to make the junction with the front 2. In that case, there'll be 4 of them battling across. That's good news if you're a Josh O'Neill fan. All right, one rider coming around that corner, a little tough to see who it is. I think that might be, is that Neil? It is. No, it's Carter. Oh my God, where did he come from? Carter Rashika, absolute TDVI legend. Your winner, Carter Rashika. Second place, Josh O'Neill. Andrew Freckles in 3rd. Neil 4th. Adam 5th. And there's Steve. Wow. The Carter fan club is exploding, and I don't blame them. I'm officially now part of the Carter fan club. Can we get that guy an apartment on Erie Street, please? So Carter rolled up here looking like, I gotta be honest with you, a couple years ago he rolled up here looking like he'd just come out of playing video games in his mom's basement on his beat-up bike. All right, there's Jesse coming in for 7th. 8th place, looks like Paul. There's Julius in 9th. Wow, Carter Rashika. What a ride. Out there all day long. Gets caught by Neil, thought he'd be under pressure then. Got a bit of recovery. That group of 4 came across.